Well, as I'm sure you noticed, I'm having a ton of trouble.
Caution, I'm a hack. I learned everything I know from a guy leaned against a shade tree, having a drink and smoking a cigarette.
Hey, welcome back. So we're back on the Camaro. All the other cars are done from the car lots, so let's have some fun. But last week's video on the Camaro, we saw the 5.3 that I bought was no good. I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, I've already ordered another motor, but it's not going to be in this video. It's coming from out of state, and they got to ship it to me. It's supposed to be here in 3 to 4 days, which is fine, no big deal. I've got 32 days to finish this car before I leave for my trip. So, with that being said, we really don't have a whole lot of time to talk about it. We got to get to work. Today, we're going to be pulling the motor and trans out of this car and start the prep work for putting the LS swap back in it. I've got tons of parts coming, so they're supposed to be here in a day or two. I believe we can get this done, but we're going to have to get after it. So anyways, I'm going to get to work, and yeah, let's see how this goes. Alright, I think I'll bring y'all in here and show you what I've kind of got done at this point. Got the radiator out, the hose is out. I had a lot of problems getting that one side, that little radiator hose off. I don't know why. Got the main brackets off. I think I can leave the water pump and crank pulley on it. I'm going to for now. If I have to pull it later, I will. I'm gonna pull this power steering pump here in just a minute, get it out of the way and get that drained. I've made a giant mess on the floor with some water, so I'm gonna clean that up a little bit, and then I'll probably go ahead and take the intake and stuff off, because all that's got to come off to get the motor out. So yeah, we'll get back to it. here we go. Almost done. I almost have all this wiring harness out. I have one more plug that goes to the transmission, unhook it, and that's out. And then basically it's time to get the transmission out of this car so we can get the engine out of this car. But I got a phone call. The junkyard that had my engine received it today, so I'm going to go pick it up. And yeah, let's go do that. And we'll get it on a stand, and we got plenty to do. We'll just keep working. So, but we're going to go pick it up today because the weather's nice. It's not going to be for the next few days. Hey. So yesterday we were cranking along. I did a lot of fast motion, and I'd like to apologize for that, but I have torn the top of this engine down on the channel, I don't know, 4 or 5 times. So if you want to know how to do that, just go back and look at some of my old videos. I've done it so many times. So anyways, we've got it torn apart. I've got the car actually jacked up now, and it's ready to go for pulling the trans. I'm going to try to pull the trans with a floor jack. It's probably not the smartest move, but it is what it is. So we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to get y'all some footage under the car. I have a new camera stand. We'll see how it goes. Maybe you can see me. Maybe you can't. I don't know. But here's the plan. My plan is I'm going to jack it up, take the cross member out, take the back bolts off the trans pan, put the cross member back in, then the rest of the bolts out of the trans pan, dump the fluid, disconnect the drive shaft. We'll have to disconnect the torque arm, which I'm going to disconnect and just let it go up and hit the floor. That keeps the rear end from moving a bunch. Trans lines, torque converter, bell housing bolts, shift linkage. It sounds like a lot. It shouldn't be too bad, I hope. And then we'll try to get it down out of its position. The car's pretty high. I'm a big guy. We got to get them in the air for me to get under them. So we'll see how it goes. I'll set y'all down on the stand. Hopefully y'all can see what I'm doing. If not, I apologize, but we got to get through this. I'm sure you'd rather see me put an LS in than take a small block out. So let's get to work. All right, let's go over what all we've done. So we've drained the transmission pan. We've pulled the cross member in and out like 5 times now. The torque arm goes right here, and you can see that's ripped right there. So we'll need a new bushing for that. Of course, they make a polyurethane one. Maybe I'll try to get it. And then got the drive shaft out. Y'all saw me do that. The shift cable is laying right there, so we got it all unhooked. The electrical was done yesterday. The next things to do are pull the transmission lines right there and right there. Just go on the side of the transmission. Shouldn't be a big deal. The torque converter bolts need to come out. And then the only thing that'll be really holding it will be the bell housing bolts. We'll take those out and retake the cross member out. And in theory, we can get the transmission down. And no big deal. So I am going to take a little bit of a break. And then we'll get right back to it. got her on the ground. A few things of note. I did struggle a little bit getting a couple bolts out. No big deal. It was missing a couple of bolts. The torque converter wasn't completely tight. 2 of the bolts were, but not the third one. Also, before you do this yourself, you should think to yourself, how much do I like my property and how much do I like myself? Because you're very likely to get hurt or break something. I did sacrifice the cooling lines. They were really beat up. One of them was cut anyways up front, so they were junk. So I just left them on and dropped it so it'd make it easier so I could get it out. But my day's up for the day, and we'll hit it tomorrow. We'll get this motor out first thing in the morning. We'll move on from there. Well, I've already been to work this morning. I've worked for a couple hours here, cleaning up, just get the transmission put away, get all the bolts picked up off the floor, get the floor cleaned up because it was a mess. Whew. Brought the engine hoist over, had to break it down to get it through this narrow path, but it fit, so that's good. I have the chains on the engine. I have the engine leveler on the engine, but not hooked up. I rolled the engine crane over here, and it will reach the engine, but it's going to press right up against the front bumper. I don't want that. I don't have another front bumper, so if we mess this one up, I'm just out of luck. So I'm going to take the front bumper off. I'm in a group on Facebook, and basically all of them said take the front bumper off, and you'll even be able to put the engine and trans in together when you put it back together. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to take a little time. I'm going to take this front bumper off. And once we get the bumper off, we can adjust a little bit and see if we can get this cherry picker in here and get this engine out the car. And we'll call this a video. We've come a long way, and just to, I don't know, maybe I've got 9 hours in this total. I don't know. It's not a lot. I've had a lot of other things going on that are also to do with this car, so we have to do those as well. Anyways, I'm going to get to work and with the front bumper off this car. All right, Lee and I got the hood off. We're with the engine out. I'm gonna call this a video. Well, as I'm sure you noticed, I'm having a ton of trouble. Let me show you what I'm going to have to do and what I should have done to begin with, but I didn't for whatever reason. The exhaust was hanging on the bottom. It was hanging before it ever started. Every time we pick this engine up, it's tilted. So this manifold has broke my air conditioning box, which
has already been broke before, so whatever, I don't care. We'll refix it. It's just one more thing. So I'm going to pull this manifold off, and we're going to try again. So wish me luck. We got the engine sitting on a pallet. I set the camera up, forgot to hit record. The engine bay is nasty. You can see this where I broke this over here. We'll have to fix that. The newcomers won't know, but I've already fixed this thing twice. Well, I'm going to clean this mess up and get us going on the next video tomorrow. I don't know what that's exactly going to be yet. So much to do still. As of today, I've got 29 days, including today, to be done. Tick tock, tick tock. So thanks for watching. Hit the thumbs up button if you would. Thanks.